Sergeant Arms, please call the meeting to order.
Yes, sir. It's the council of the city of Memphis. It's in my call to order for the transaction switch adjournment. All rise, please.
I would like to recognize our chaplain of the day, Pastor Jalen Washington from Olivet Fellowship Baptist Church, invited by Councilman J.B. Smiley Jr.
That's a good man.
Pastor, please pray for us.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you all so much for the opportunity. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for the city of Memphis. And Father, we ask, God, that you would cover this city. We pray that you would give the leaders wisdom to make the right decisions concerning this city. And Father, while we're praying, we address every spirit and we address every principality of this city and of this region. And Father, we pray, God, that you would allow the angels of the living God to cover us in the name of Jesus. We come against violence. We come against any type of thing that's coming against our productivity. We come against confusion. We come against chaos. And Father, we speak peace. We speak unity. And Father, we even ask, God, even if we disagree, that God, that there will be respect and temperance in aiding decisions, God, in the name of Jesus. And Father, we thank you for what you're doing in this city. We thank you for how you're going to bless us. We thank you for how you're going to keep us. We thank you for how you're going to bring us to a place that you've called us to. And Father, we give you all the glory and all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Chairman, can I be recognized, sir?
I recognize you, my friend.
I do appreciate it. The city of Memphis hereby be it known that Pastor Reverend Jalen Washington, in recognition of a life, exemplary qualities, outstanding service to the city, meritorious involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrated concern for the governmental process, has been appointed chaplain of the day by the Memphis City Council and is hereby entitled to all the honors, rights, and privileges and prerogatives are pertaining to the office and to display of this certificate given under my hand, Councilman J.B. Smiley and Chairman Ford Canale. What I will tell you is this. The good book says, prayers of the righteous availeth much. If Reverend Washington prays for you, good things will happen. So thank you for the good things that will happen to this council and the city of Memphis for your prayers, and appreciate you so much, good brother. Thank you, brother. That handoff was really sloppy.
Pastor Washington, thank you for praying with us and over us today. God bless you, my friend. Madam Comptroller, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Carlisle, Cooper Sutton, Easter Thomas, Ford, Green, Logan, Smiley, Spinoza, Swearingen Washington,
Present.
Walker, Warren, White, Chairman Canale.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. I believe Vice Chair Swearingen Washington has read the meeting minutes from our August 5th meeting.
Thank you, Chair. I have reviewed the minutes and find them to be in order. I move for the adoption of the August 5th, 2025 meeting minutes as amended.
August 5th meeting minutes have been moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
For the minutes, Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Please show Councilmember White as voting yes on the minutes. Chairman Canale, yes.
Please show Smiley as a yes also.
Please show Smiley as a yes on the minutes.
That item passes. Welcome To everyone in the audience, all those listening online, to the August 19, 2025 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure the public has the full opportunity to be heard, and the deliberate process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant at Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant at Arms before the item is called. If you're not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give a general comment at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly registered to speak by submitting a completed comment request card to the Sergeant at Arms. Members of the audience, persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violative conduct in order to leave the council's chambers, or by giving an order for security personnel to remove any disruptive person in the council's chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. These rules are posted on the doors as you enter the chamber and as you pick up comment cards. An example of an 11 by 17 poster is also posted on the door. Signs larger than the permitted size are prohibited and will be removed from the chamber. All that being said, let's have a good meeting. We have important work to take care of. Housekeeping items 1, 22, and 24 withdrawn. Items 6, 21, and 25 will be held until September 9th, 2025. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution honoring the life of Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster and the 100th anniversary of the Brewster Theological Seminary. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Swearingen Washington.
Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you. Is Miss Evans here? Come on down. Family. Thank you, Chair. This is such an exciting time to be able to honor Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster, Sr. We are excited to be able to acknowledge the legacy and the work that has occurred under his leadership. Whereas the Memphis City Council pauses in reverence and celebration to honor the extraordinary life and enduring legacy of the late Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster Sr., a visionary pastor, pioneering gospel composer, civil rights trailblazer, and steadfast educator who left an indelible mark on the soul of this city and far beyond. Whereas Dr. Brewster faithfully shepherded the congregation of East Trigg Avenue Baptist Church in the heart of South Memphis for more than 5 decades, establishing not just a church, but a movement rooted in faith, justice, and transformative love. He was a fearless and prophetic voice for racial equality who used the pulpit, the pen, and the power of music to challenge injustice, uplift the weary, and proclaim dignity and liberation for African Americans during some of the most pivotal decades of our nation's history. Whereas a gifted composer, playwright, and radio personality, Reverend Dr. Brewster Sr. wrote over 200 gospel songs, many of which became cornerstones of the African American gospel tradition. His artistry influencing cultural giants, including Mahalia Jackson and Elvis Presley, and helping to shape the distinct spiritual identity of Memphis. Whereas in 1925, Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster Sr. founded the Brewster Theological Seminary, an institution established to provide rigorous theological education and spiritual formation for African American ministers, scholars, and community leaders at a time when such opportunity was both and rare, urgently needed. In the year of 2025, the city of Memphis proudly commemorates the 100th anniversary of Brewster Theological Seminary, which remains a vital part of our city's educational and spiritual legacy, still committed to nurturing generations of faith-filled servant leaders. Whereas the reach of Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster Sr.'s life work extended far beyond church walls into classrooms, radio waves, civil rights movements, and the very conscience of Memphis, where his legacy of faith, excellence, courage continues to resonate today. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Memphis, where his legacy of faith, we honor the life, ministry of the late Reverend Dr. Herbert Brewster Sr. We proudly commemorate the 100th anniversary of Brewster Theological Seminary as a beacon of spiritual education and a pillar of Memphis' enduring cultural and moral strength, given by my hand on this day, Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, Janice Swearingen Washington, Vice Chairwoman of Memphis City Council and representative of District 4. It is our distinct honor and privilege. God bless you all. We have... This is for him. We have his beautiful family here, and we also have Miss Evans, who's going to speak on his behalf. Come on.
Well, speaking on his behalf is really hard to do because he was such a profound speaker, but I'm going to do the best that I can. This is a complete and total honor. We have started and I've founded the Brewster Fine Arts Foundation in honor of my great-grandfather to preserve and promote his legacy. And pertaining to the school, this 100th year means a lot. We have places that can't stay open for 6 months, but for 100 years, this is a wonderful accomplishment. Now, I am honored, but there is no better person to speak for the school than Reverend Benham, who sat side by side with my grandfather for a number of years. So he is the chairman of the board of Brewster Fine Arts Foundation. I also have my mom, who is here with me. I have our executive director. I have our assistant, who is also here with us. But as behalf of the school, I would like Reverend Benham to elaborate and to let you know more on that. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
It's an honor to be before the council today and to Councilwoman Swearingen Washington. This is a beautiful day for us. One thing that had been said about the Brewster Theological Clinic and School of Religion, someone has put it out that we're the best kept secret in Memphis, and we don't want to be a secret. And we thank you all for the honor that is being given today. In 1897, Somerville, Tennessee, William Herbert Brewster Sr. was born. He made an indelible mark on this city of Memphis and throughout this nation, as has been read by the councilwoman. We want to thank Councilman Smiley for attending our commencement activities 2 weeks ago. He had an opportunity to speak. But to this council, we thank you for this because, again, we don't want it to be a secret. And I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know of any seminaries, any school of religion that are not charging any tuition? For 100 years, we have been tuition free. We are an ecumenical school. Because of the pandemic now, we have people that are all over the United States because we are virtual as well. We preside at 1700 Southern Avenue. Dr. Samuel Turner Jr., in 2 days, he is the president of the seminary, but he's going to have a birthday in 2 days, turning 90 years old. He took over the school upon Dr. Brewster's death in 1987. He has raised it to new heights, but he let us know that he's going to be retiring in a few days. But we thank you for the honor of this man, and help us as we are part of the foundation as well to make sure that the legacy of William Herbert Brewster is kept alive. I know this is what, Elvis Week, or it has been, and one of the things that have been said before even blacks and whites getting together or segregation being muffled, there were those who would come and sit at the feet of Dr. Brewster. And this goes all the way back into the 40s and the 50s to hear his preaching. And right down the way was one by the name of Elvis Presley, who would come through there, and because of the gospel singing that was done, and because of the love that was being spread by that man and the gospel, there were interracial worship services going on right there at Bellevue and East Trigg across from Bellevue Park. So we want to thank you all again for this honor, and help us that we will not be a secret anymore. And we want you to send some people our way to a tuition-free school. We thank you all again.
Tell your mama. Let's get a picture.
Madam Comptroller, please show that approved by acclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, please call item 3.
Item number 3 is a resolution approving the closure of a 400-foot portion of the north-south public alley between South 3rd Street and Barton Street and extending from Elms Avenue. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SAC 25-02.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Chair, the committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Item 3 was moved by Vice Chair Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Anybody wish to see a presentation from DPD or hear from the applicant? Ms. Reeves, would you like to speak? Name and address for the record.
Cindy Reeves, SR Consulting, 5909 Shelby Oaks Drive, Suite 200. I just want to thank the council and the staff for everything they've done for this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Councilman Ford.
Seeing no members in the queue, please pair the voting screen. Members, please cast your votes for item number 3.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes.
Thank you.
Madam Comptroller, please call item 4.
Item number 4 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 4465 Poplar Avenue. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development It was held from August 5th. The case number is PD 25-06.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. DPD and the Land Use Control Board recommend approval with conditions. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the July 22nd committee meeting, and I so move.
Item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Warren. Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, I'm sorry I missed the last meeting when this item was held. While I don't believe being impartial would be an issue in the benefit of the council, there is a financial conflict with a family member. Therefore, I'm going to recuse myself from any debate, discussion, or to vote on the item. Thank you.
So noted. Please show Carlisle as a recusal on this item. Seeing no other members in the queue, Ms. Salamito Bazer, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brenda Salamito Bazer, Salamito Land Planning, 1779 Kirby Parkway, Memphis. Thank you all very much. We're in agreement with the conditions and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, anybody wish to see a presentation or hear any further from the applicant? Please prepare the voting screen for item 4.
Carlisle recused. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas abstained. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes. Please show Councilmember Smiley as voting yes on this item.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 5.
Item number 5 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 436 South Front Street. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from August 5th. The case number is SUP 25-11.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The Department of Planning and Development and the Land Use Control Board recommended approval with conditions. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation at the July 22nd committee meeting, and I so move.
Item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Warren. Colleagues, anyone wish to hear a presentation or hear from the applicant? Very good. Please prepare the voting screen for item 5.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to MLGW fiscal consent items 11 through 18.
Item number 11 is a resolution approving renewal and change number 1 to contract number 12383 Voice and Data Services with AT&T to change and renew the current contract in the funded amount of $518,840. Item number 12 is a resolution approving extension change number 4 to contract number 11723 EMS SCADA with Open Systems International, Inc. to change and extend the current contract in the funded amount of $5,510,660. Item number 13 is a resolution approving renewal to contract number 12213 Hitachi ABB Wireless Maintenance Services with Hitachi Energy USA, Inc. to change the scope of work for the current contract in the funded amount of $1,110,000. Item number 14 is a resolution awarding contract number 12535 ESO Material Storage Building to Standard Builders, Inc. in the funded amount of $6,378,900. Item number 15 is a resolution approving renewal and change to contract number 12410, on-call consulting services with Smith Seckman Reed Incorporated to renew and change the current contract in the funded amount of $1,063,602. Item number 16 is a resolution awarding contract number 12550 Brunswick Service Center repaving to Barnes and Brower, Inc. in the funded amount of $786,260.85. Item number 17 is a resolution awarding contract number 12590 security enhancements to Convergent Technologies LLC in the funded not to exceed amount of $1,221,330. Our final item number 18 is a resolution approving renewal and change to contract number 12630 customer communication and engagement with Convey to renew and expand the scope of work of the current contract in the funded amount of $2,286,500. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Spinoza, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Canale. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
MLGW fiscal consent was moved by Spinoza, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to our consent agenda, items 7 through 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 7 on our consent agenda is a resolution approving the engineering plans for the Woodlands Plan Development Phase 1 and accepting bond as security. There is a request for same night minutes. The contract number is CR-5479. Item number 8 is a resolution approving an honorary street name change on South Bellevue Boulevard between Peabody and Eastmoreland Avenue for BG, District 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Carlisle. There is a request for same night minutes. Item number 9 is a resolution approving an honorary street name for BJWT, District 7, Super District 9. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Smiley, and there is a request for same night minutes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for all these items, and I so move.
Consent agenda was moved by Swearingen, Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller. Madam Comptroller, please take us to our fiscal consent agenda, items 10 and 32 on off of our add-ons.
Thank you very much. Item number 10 is a resolution to accept, allocate, and appropriate grant funds in the amount of $430,500 from the State of Tennessee Office of the Secretary of State, Tennessee State Library and Archives, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Library Division, and there is a request for same night minutes. On our add-ons, we do have item number 32, a resolution to allocate and appropriate American Rescue Plan Act interest revenue, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by council members Logan, Cooper, Sutton, Carlisle, and Warren, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move. Madam Controller, should the screen say fiscal consent? It says consent. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can get a roll call vote.
For our fiscal consent, Carlisle,
Aye.
Cooper, Sutton, Easter, Thomas, Ford, Green, Logan, Smiley, Spinoza, Swearingen, Washington,
Yes.
Walker, Warren,
Aye.
White,
Yay.
Chairman Canali. Thank you.
That item passes.
I'll tell you.
Madam Comptroller, please take us to our add-ons, starting with item 26.
'26 on our add-ons is a resolution approving use of compounded interest from Accelerate Memphis bonds to cover project management and architecture and engineering A&E fees, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there is a request for same-night minutes.
Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Yeah, 26 is moved by Warren, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Aye.
Yay.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 27.
Item number 27 is a resolution approving proposed consolidated plan year 25, fiscal year 26 annual action plan, and appropriating federal entitlement funds to the plan year 25, fiscal year 26 housing and community development budget. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Carlisle, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met recommends approval, and I so move.
27 was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Green. Seeing the members in the queue, can you send it to the voting screen? Or you want to
I'm
roll?
going to try it, Mr. Item number 27 is on the.
It's on our screen.
Great, we're ready, sir. Thank
All right.
you. I'll start the vote. Could have just been a delay. Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 28.
Item number 28 is a resolution authorizing the execution, delivery, and performance of a financing in an amount not exceeding $5,100,000 relating to the acquisition of various solid waste vehicles and equipment, and to approve certain other matters relating thereto. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Smiley, you recognize.
Thank you, Chair. Committee may recommend approval, not so moved.
28 was moved by Smiley, seconded by Carlisle. Seeing the members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 29.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 29 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate construction funds in the amount of $987,940.67 from Drainage ST Cover Line Project number ST03205 to Whitehaven Gardens CCL Phase 1, project number ST03244 for construction funds for placement and upgrade of the concrete channel lining in the Whitehaven Gardens neighborhood. District 3, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Smiley, you recognize.
Thank you, Chair. Committee may recommend approval, not so moved.
29 was moved by Smiley, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 30.
Item number 30 is a resolution amending the FY26 CIP budget by accepting additional federal grant funding from the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, and appropriating $2,761,321.14 to initiate construction on the Democrat Road Signal, District 3, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Smiley, you recognize.
Committee met recommend approval, and I so move.
30 was moved by Smiley, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
Please show Walker
Please
as a
show
yes.
Councilmember Walker is voting yes on this item.
That item
It'll be
passes.
item 30.
Madam Comptroller, please call item 31.
Item number 31 is a resolution to transfer and appropriate funds in the amount of $77,353.87 from project number PW01136 to fund structural engineering services cost for Knight Arnold Johns Creek Bridge repair. Project number PW02039, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Smiley, you recognize.
Committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
31 moved by Smiley, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 33.
Item number 33 is a resolution to allocate and appropriate $1,900,000 in interest revenue from the American Rescue Plan Act allocation of 2021. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman White, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
33 was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes.
John.
Madam Comptroller, please call item 34.
Item number 34 is a resolution requesting the Memphis and Shelby County Division of Planning and Development to request reservation of plus or minus 181 properties owned by Shelby County Land Bank to be disposed exclusively through the Building Home Program. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by council members Easter Thomas, Canali, Carlisle, Green, Spinoza, Swearingen Washington, Walker, and Warren, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Committee met recommended approval for same night minutes, and I so move.
Item was moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Spinoza. Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll be recusing from this matter as it involves the Shelby County Land Bank, and I am special counsel for the Shelby County Commission.
Please note White as a recusal. Seeing no other members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen for 34.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, recused. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us back to our regular agenda, starting with item number 19.
Item number 19 on our regular agenda is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 5830, an ordinance to establish funding dedicated to transit and mobility. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5952 is sponsored by Councilman Carlisle.
Councilman Ford Sr., you're recognized.
Committee met recommends approval, and I so move.
19 was moved by Ford Sr., seconded by Swearingen Washington. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen.
90 card. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes. Please show Vice Chairwoman Swearingen Washington as voting yes on this item.
I'm sorry, before my fault. Before we move forward, Noah Nordstrom.
Yes, you might not recognize me. I'm in disguise now. All right, hi y'all, my name is Noah Nordstrom. I live at 6220 Forest Grove Drive, and I'm here to fully support the full funding of our MATA system. So you may not know, but I recently became a full-time MATA rider after dealing with nonstop car troubles. And the first time I went to take it here downtown, right over here by 201 Poplar, the bus didn't stop. So I was chasing it down the road, and I called the people, and no one ever stopped for me, so I got stranded. The second time I went to take it from Midtown going to East Memphis, it didn't show up, and so I ended up having to call an Uber. Finally, the third time I was going to take it, I was actually able to catch the bus, a little late, but I was able to catch it. And as a MATA rider, I regularly deal with over 20-minute delays. I've had to cancel and postpone many activities because of the bus. And I have the privilege of being able to call an Uber in a last-minute situation because of my income. But for a lot of Memphians, that's not a reality because Uber tends to be anywhere from 8 to 30 times more expensive than a bus ride. And that is harming many of our community members. Just let me give you a couple examples. I recently met someone who was denied a job. He was trying to get out of homelessness. But because he was a MATA rider, the employer wouldn't give him the job because they knew it wasn't reliable enough. The other day, I was in Midtown going to East Memphis, and there was a man in a wheelchair waiting in the boiling sun for an hour in the direct sun because the bus didn't show up on time. And this is a real issue for so many people. And so it's trapping people in poverty, and it's harming people's health, and we got to do a lot better. I'd like to commend Councilwoman Jerry Green, who just recently accepted a challenge to ride the bus with a MATA rider so she could hear from users and go see it for herself. And I challenge every single council member to do the same, to see the reality of the system that you're funding, because really a lot of people are struggling, and this is an opportunity for us to become the next level of great in our city by fully funding our MATA system. So thanks so much for your time. Have a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. I'm very sorry that I didn't call you up before the vote.
It's okay. I think there's someone else too.
Randy Truong.
You had it right. It's Trong.
Okay.
Hi, all. Randy Trong, 37 South Renberg Street. Recently, I've been traveling a lot, and I've been able to use bus systems in different cities, and it has been incredible to see how fast you can get around without a car. And I was really excited to come back here in Memphis and utilize our bus system. And I was on Route 34 the other day and waited for 2 hours. No bus came. The tracker had no bus on there, but there was also no error on the MATA updates. So I called the operator. The operator had no idea why the bus showed up. So that is that. And I just wanted to bring up an issue that I think we don't talk about a lot here in Memphis, our undocumented residents and their risk. For undocumented residents here in Memphis, the bus is not just their transportation, it is also their protection. Every time the buses don't run, they face an impossible choice, either risk being deported by driving without a license or miss work and lose income. So I believe our city has a choice. We either invest in buses and protect our vulnerable citizens, or we leave gaps that push people towards criminalization and kidnapping by ICE. These people are ultimately ending up in concentration camps built by our federal government. So I believe the values of our city should be measured by how we treat those most at risk. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Madam Comptroller, would you please take us to item 20? Oh. Councilman Griffin, did you want to speak on item 19?
Yes, Chairman, thank you so much. And Noah, I have ridden the bus before, so I know the difficulties. So I've done it when I first got here because of where I lived before. And I was excited about the transit here in Memphis. And so I wanted you to know I know the experience and what it feels like. You're welcome. I yield.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Madam Comptroller, please call item 20.
Item number 20 is an ordinance providing for the allocation of lawfully available funds of the city in an artificial intelligence property to certain public purposes within those areas of the city affected by the development, use, and operation of such property. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5953 is sponsored by the administration.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee did meet several times, and we have sent this down without a recommendation, and I have moved it for the floor for discussion.
All right. Item 20 has been moved by Carlisle, seconded by Warren. Councilwoman Walker, I'm going to go to you first, and then I have 3 comment cards, and we'll hear from our mayor as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to offer an amendment to Ordinance 5953. Colleagues, over the past few months, we've all heard the strong and mixed reactions from residents about the new XAI facility. Many people felt they were left in the dark about the development, and I too share the same concerns and frustrations as many residents. At the core of many conversations, one thing is clear. There was a missed opportunity to fully educate Memphians on this venture. People want to know what's being built, how it affects their neighborhoods, and where they can get clear, reliable answers. Today's amendment is a durable way to meet that need. I'm proposing that when the council allocates the public purpose amount, we require no less than 1% of that allocation to be dedicated to community education and outreach on environmental and sustainability topics. This includes clean energy, wastewater infrastructure, environmental justice, sustainability practices, and the operation and impact of AI infrastructure. These educational efforts will be accessible to residents across the city, but with a particular focus on those who live closest to these facilities. This small, targeted investment could reduce misinformation and ensure transparency. It would fund workshops, translated materials, neighborhood briefings, and reporting, all coordinated by our administration with nonprofit and public partners and approved by council through an outreach plan and annual report. Other cities have shown us the value of this approach. In 2021, the San Jose Council approved a massive Google development, and its agreement included a community benefits package that directly funded programs in training and education. While the XAI development did not come before this council for approval, we now have the opportunity to be proactive and intentional, setting a Memphis standard that when innovation arrives, information arrives with it. I'm open to discussion on adjusting the percentage, but I believe a 1% floor is modest, measurable, and accountable. It aligns with resident expectations, strengthens oversight, and ensures those living closest to these facilities are informed and included. Colleagues, I respectfully ask for your yes vote on this amendment. Chair, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Walker. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like to move that we make a motion for friendly amendments to Section 2. And I think I've already spoken with the administration, and they've already discussed it. So I want the mayor and the administration an opportunity to speak on the friendly amendment. And it was in subsection B and recommending for an increase in the public purpose allocation. And so I would like the mayor to speak on that part.
No, I don't have
Mayor Young.
the amendment.
I need a second for, all right, Vice Chair has seconded Cooper Sutton's amendment.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Point of clarification, maybe from a parliamentarian type. Don't we have to deal with Councilwoman Pearlieva Walker's amendment first and vote on that before we move forward?
We're about to.
Okay, so before we second Cooper Sutton's amendment?
No, we had a second for Walker's.
Okay. Yeah.
I was going to allow the mayor to speak on Councilwoman Walker's, and then I'll go to special item 1, and we'll vote on that amendment, and then we'll move on to Councilwoman Cooper Sutton's second amendment.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because it sounded to me like Councilwoman Cooper Sutton wanted the mayor to talk on her.
I was going to allow the mayor the opportunity to speak on the first one before we took the vote.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
All right, so hold on one second, Mayor. So special item 1, which is Councilwoman Walker's amendment, was moved by Councilwoman Walker, seconded by the Vice Chair. Mayor Young, you're recognized.
Yes, I did have an opportunity to read through Councilwoman Walker's amendment. This is the one that takes 1% of the 25% and dedicates it towards education around environmental sustainability efforts, which we support.
Okay, thank you for being brief. Madam Comptroller, if you'd prepare special item 1, which is Councilwoman Walker's amendment. The Vice Chair.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Please show council members Smiley as voting yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
All right.
Please show Easter Thomas as voting yes on this item.
All right, Walker's amendment passes. Now, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, do you want to read your amendment into the record, and we'll get a second? I'll allow the mayor to speak on that as well.
In subsection B, I am recommending that we increase the public purpose allocation from 25% to 75%. This change reflects a stronger commitment to ensuring that the majority of these funds are directed toward initiatives that directly benefit the public, especially the residents of this community. Additionally, I am proposing the establishment of an advisory board tasked with providing annual reports and oversight over the allocation of the use of these funds. This will promote transparency, accountability, and ensure the community voices remain at the center of the process. And the last one, I think we've already taken care of the last one. So this amendment reflects that brief, and I hope that with these two amendments that I have the full support of the council, and I do believe that it is equitable, and these residents deserve maximum support from the city regardless of what other public entities may be contribute.
All right, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton needs a second for her amendment. All right, it's going to fail without a second. All right, that amendment fails. Mayor, did you want to speak to that? Okay. Councilman Ford Sr., you're recognized.
I don't know if I need to speak anymore. You know, I need to talk. Opportunities. Snakes in the grass. I prefer an opportunity instead of a snake in the grass that might bite you, because you know, they used to tell a story. This person helped this snake, and when he helped this snake, snake bit him. Said, "Didn't you know I was a snake?" Snake is always going to be a snake in the grass, okay? We've missed too many opportunities. And I want everybody that's listening and hear me today, time out for that. We need all the opportunities we can get, because you know, Arkansas, Mississippi is taking all of our opportunities. I keep telling everybody, South Haven, Mississippi, all the way down to Hernando and a little bit further. When you go that way, it kind of disappoints me, because I said, this should be Memphis. We sent these people here, and they still come back to Memphis and work and go back down there. Opportunities. Everybody want to upset certain people and really don't know what the truth is, okay? We've done all the work to try to let people know. Arkansas would love to see this. Mississippi would love to see this. Where it is in place, they don't have to come across the bridge. They can go across the water part and get over to Arkansas. We've already got Google coming there every time we do something. Okay? Now, the other one is right there at the state line and on our side. Mississippi's told them, I'll move somebody out to move you back in. Are we going to keep on losing opportunity? Might be the best thing we've ever had in the city of Memphis. And I got to say this. Things that these people are doing, they really don't want nobody to know. City schools, county school system, sit there and say, we're fixing this school, we're doing this to this school, we're doing that. They're not doing that. These people are. They don't want nobody to know that they're doing it, but they're doing it. And I got to go back in our sanitation department. You know, y'all doing the best that you can. But in my district, all around, those are not city trucks. That's their trucks. Cleaning up this city. Westwood High School got all this new stuff. Fairleigh High School is getting all these different things. They're not asking anybody for anything. What we're past today, that's something different. They're spending twice as much that they don't want people to know about. Twice as much. You know, they talked about them turbines, all of this, that, and the other. They took them down, replaced with new stuff. But if you think about it, all them turbines, they're building not just for them. TVA. Has anybody ever complained about TVA other than they too high? Hello? But you don't complain to them. Well, but hey, no, you ain't complain like with the other. Hey, please, I'm talking, y'all. Take thumbs up, thumb down, okay? Because TVA wasn't paying you no attention. But we better wake up, smell the coffee. Other than that, you're gonna smell the sewage. How can you be against the sewage that they're getting ready to clean up and make it worthwhile, whereas my district don't have to smell all of that? Now, you might be in East Memphis or somewhere else. No, you're not going to do that because they put everything down my area. I'm kind of tired of that, okay? I'm tired of everybody running our people away for some of their benefits. They benefit off of it. And if you check the records, you can see that they benefited off. But they want to stir people up, make people angry. But hey, they are not putting a penny into this city. But you're going to complain about my trash is not being picked up. But if the city ain't got no money, you just as well to try to go back to the old days, get you one of them black containers and burn it. I'll bring some revenues here and do something with it. You know, you got John P. Freeman. You got Mitchell, Farrell, all in play. That's why I said, don't let the school system take the praise for what's going on. They're not doing it. They want us to give them money, but they're not doing it. These people are doing it, but they didn't want nobody to know. And I called and told them, say, hey, it's time to let people know what's going on here in this city. They're spending millions and millions and millions. This is just a piece of it, what we've had today. And they're helping the neighborhoods, our children. That's a big thing to help our children because they need to learn something. And maybe they'll put some food where they can eat something during the day because they may not have anything at home. Things are getting a little rough. Everybody's getting ready to feel it. You don't think you are, but you're getting ready to feel it all. You know, a lot of people on fixed income, you know, SNAP gonna be gone. Memphis is gonna be suffering. We got to have somebody to help us, especially our older people, our disabled people, and everything else. We need all the help that we can get. Now, if you want to, like food stamps, you get $1,800 worth of food stamps, and hell, you're gonna be at Kroger saying, let me buy your groceries. But here's somebody on the fixed income gets $75 worth, and they can't even buy food, can't buy their medicine, can't do all of these different things. You know, a lot of y'all young, when it comes down to food stamps, how you solve that? Go back to what it was in the beginning. You give me $200, I'll give you $400 worth of food stamps. You give me $300, and they would give you $600 worth of food stamps. I will not see that person at Kroger trying to sell it. Okay? They're not going to sell something that they had to pay for. But if you've given it to them, then sometimes I can kind of understand why. The ones that's getting everything should not really get it. But the ones that need it can't get it. That's why we need all the help we can. And we need all these people to help us along the way. But everybody complain about potholes, complain about trash, like I said. Hey, need help. And if we have people to come in, hey, to help us, we need to kind of sort of thank them. Not ask them for something, thank them for doing something for the city. Because a lot of people have come and just want them to give something. Then, I ain't in that program. I'm gonna be quiet because I can just talk, but I'm just trying to give y'all some facts. I'm old, y'all. I've been there, done that, and hey, I've been here 3 times. I can tell y'all a lot of things. And you know, let me tell you something. I gotta go back to this. I remember we didn't have nothing growing up. I'm the 15th child. I didn't have a bathroom. We had no running water. We had none of those things. We were happy. I married my wife, went down, saw her mama, and her mama said, "They told you about this." I said, "Oh, no, they didn't." I was in the 7th grade when we got bathroom. Okay? 7th grade. You know, I told my mother-in-law, I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, she had Scott tissue. I said, "Next time I come here, you have the softest tissue. Don't get no Scott tissue." I said, because me coming up, I had to squat and chuck. Everybody thought magazines and this, that, and the other, they wasn't for reading. These things. That's how I came up. You know, they had jugs, like you got the water fountain. You used to have to sign for those jugs because that's what people made moonshine and all the rest and put it in those bottles. But I broke a lot of them because we had to go and try to fill it up full of water to take home. So I know how it is. Okay? But I'm just asking people, it's time to wake up. Help people. But you know what? I'm 70 and I was happy. I've helped a lot of people. Maybe if I didn't help people and do some of the things that some of the other folks, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd probably be in Florida on the beach. But I prefer to help people. But a lot of people take advantage of people and try to fool you because you're nice. I can take advantage. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing. I'm gonna be quiet because I can go and say a lot of different things, you know. That's why I said, hey, you know, we used to do borough policy. You don't know nothing about that, Canali. Stay out all day, you collect $15. We used to be the ambulance. You take folks to the hospital, we didn't charge but $5. When you get them to the hospital, they said, we'll pay you next week, because they didn't have $5. But I knew in 3 or 4 hours later, they gonna call me to come back and get them. So if they didn't give me $5 going, you know they didn't give me $5 coming back. But that's what you did. You kind of helped each other, and hey, and we made it. If there was a car accident, we were the ambulance. We were the ambulance. When the city ambulance came in, they told all the funeral homes, y'all don't know what you're doing. 2 weeks later, city fire department went on strike. They had to call us back. And we said, but we don't know what we're doing. We've been doing it all this time. I'm trying to just give y'all a history lesson. But we've lost focus on doing things and helping. Okay? Man, you're doing a good job. We're trying to make it in this city, because a lot of them are not. And I got to go back to Jackson, Mississippi. Okay? They struggling. And what the president, like in Washington, putting all that, hey, they're trying to do the same thing in Jackson, the state capital, okay? Say, hey, we just want to circle ourselves in the city. We don't care what y'all do because they know they're struggling and then they don't even want to help. Okay? I'm going to be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
it kind of went past me kind of fast on what we just did with Pearl's amendment to adjust the 1% for town halls, which is in the first document that we had, C, which is in red. The other printed out ordinance was Councilwoman Cooper Sutton's amendment.
Failed without a second.
Failed without a second, but I wanted to just ask a point of clarification. Is that okay, Chair? Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, I do see the piece in here about the Public Advisory Board.
Yes.
When you gave your amendments, you gave all of them together.
I did.
Was there a thought of separating that one to add the advisory board in, or what? I just wanted to get your thought process on that.
Yeah, that was a thought, and I did talk about that, the advisory board. I thought that would be important as well. Yes.
Is it your feeling or intent to have
Yes,
all
can
of
we
these
make a new
amendments
motion?
at the same time, or can we do this a motion to amend to add in the advisory board piece?
Yes, we can amend to add the advisory board if I can get the council support, and if that's okay with the mayor's administration.
Is that a question?
Yes,
That's
it
a question.
Where is that in writing?
It's right here.
On page 3 of the second ordinance packet, which is, I said it's the thinner one than the thick one.
Not that
Councilwoman
one.
Walker's was the
Down,
thick
right
one.
there. Yeah.
And it's on the second page in section B. In red at the bottom.
Brooke, okay. She told me to. Okay. All right, so I move to add the second one to the additional that I'm opposing, the establishment of an advisory board task with providing annual reports and oversight over the allocation of the use of these funds that will promote transparency, accountability, and ensure that the community voice remains at the center of this process.
Second.
Can I speak to it now? Chair. Chair, may I speak to it now?
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you. I actually have no problem with an advisory board. I think what I would ask from the sponsor is this. I would like to see this move forward today, but this board can't just be called a board. It's capitalized in this document, and there's no, I know Tenero, the chief legal officer, will appreciate, like, when you have a capitalized thing, it's a definition, and it has to refer to a defined term. Yeah, so all I'm saying, yeah, as long as we get the cleanup.
Yeah, we can get the cleanup. I'm okay with that. Yes.
Perfect.
And we can just do a resolution.
I'm good with
I'm
that.
for the people and what's best for the people. And whatever my colleagues suggest that we can move forward together and align ourselves together, that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, that's so yeah. So I think what we're
Thank
saying
you.
is
Okay.
we're gonna define, we're gonna operate in good faith to define what the makeup of the advisory board would look like. I'm fine to move forward on that. I'm of the opinion that those pieces can be critically important, and it's no disrespect to anybody else's opinion, but we are the advisory board appointed by the community, right? Okay, I just want to make sure we're clear on that, because we do these advisory boards, and I do think community input is important, but they do that at the polls in October every 4 years. So I'm comfortable with that. I would just say, and I'll be quiet so we can move forward. As you are thinking about it, though, please make sure that we are putting in mayor and the team and Councilwoman Cooper Sutton and whoever else is going to have influence over this, that board have skill sets that are intentful, not just people
Most
that quote,
definitely.
know the community, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for bringing that. I
Most
appreciate
definitely.
it. I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. Attorney Wade, can we move forward with Councilwoman Walker's amendment and do Councilwoman Cooper Sutton's by resolution?
Yes, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to withdraw my
Or does it
motion.
have to be memorialized in here? No?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So we can do a resolution?
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Sounds great.
Mayor Young, you're recognized.
Is that a resolution today, or is it coming later? Okay. I was just going to give my perspective, and Carlisle actually said what I was going to say, which is you all are the advisory board. And that's how I have envisioned this the whole time in terms of who actually has the authority to say how these dollars get allocated. You all have that ability every year during budget season, and as these dollars begin to flow, our goal was to get public input. We have over 100 responses that we've gotten from the survey that already outlines how some of the uses for those dollars can be for this first tranche. And we would provide that information to this body when we bring forth the resolution for how we would use the dollars. Right now, what's being approved is the actual ordinance that enables these dollars to be allocated, but we still have to bring you a resolution that outlines how would we use those dollars, and that's going to be informed by the information that we receive from the public.
Thank you, Mayor. Dr. Easter Thomas.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Mayor, for sharing that as well, and then also Attorney Wade for offering the solace to it. I do think that I do agree fully with Councilman Carlisle that we are a definite community-appointed advisory board for all areas of our city. But I think that as we talk about monies and budgets and trying to see how we can incorporate a more participatory aspect in this is something, even this whole ordinance is something that we haven't done before as a body for the council. And so I think that it would be a good effort to see if it works, having a community, however we're gonna word it with the nomenclature, community advisory board, to just get that impact and input from those folks who have been so integral, whether their residence is there, whether they are fully advocating or supporting this effort and trying to see justice in whatever that looks like. As defined by whom, but I think that as we go through this unprecedented ordinance that we're already doing, it doesn't set a bad precedence to attempt to be able to give folks more of a participatory aspect in this. And I'm glad that we're able to move the councilwoman's effort by resolution, since we aren't fully approving this today. We have the minutes next council meeting. Is that why we're doing resolution? Because we're doing the minutes next council meeting?
It doesn't have to change this document. We can do the advisory board by resolution. It doesn't have to be memorialized.
And I'm sure by then the councilwoman will, outline who's on there, how long, when will they meet, and I'm sure that we'll all be invited to participate as our schedule allows, just to be able to be there and present and support in that. So I think that's a great idea, Councilwoman, and thank you, Councilman Carlisle and Chair, for supporting and backing it up too.
Thank you, Councilwoman Eastern Thomas. Thank you, and thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Carlisle, and thank you for the whole board. And we're just this is our first time here, and so we just want to make sure that we get it right and we do it together. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Colleagues, we have 4 comment cards, and then we're going to go back to the main item, which is item 20, which will be as amended. But first,
Mr. Chairman, are we taking those as friendly amendments as substituted, or are we going to vote on a special item or she withdrew?
She withdrew.
Okay. Right.
Jasmine Bernard. Name and address. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Bernard. I live at 5074 Cana Road. And as Ordinance 5953 is written, the communities being poisoned by AI data centers are actively being kicked while they're already down. As currently written, only the Paul Lowry Road location is mentioned. This must shift to include the two-lane facility in Whitehaven, as it currently is not listed as real AI property in Exhibit A. Not only is this facility larger, but it is located directly behind a school building, saying that it can pose an even greater risk than the current Boxtown facility. Next, we must amend this ordinance to require, not just allow this money to be used for the community benefit. This language shift will ensure that the people in the community experience at least some form of recompensation while XAI and other data centers exist in our communities. Additionally, this ordinance must be amended to give 100% of the money attained from property taxes to the community for the sacrifice of their health. Furthermore, this money must have a direct oversight from a community advisory board made up of members with direct insight and experience with harmful polluters. My last contention with the current $100 million cap on the property tax receipt from XAI. This is a direct disservice to the people in the community. Therefore, we suggest that there should be no cap on the money received from these AI data centers in order to fully compensate our community for the unconsensual sacrifice of their health. Next thing, as Tigers Against Pollution, we are already running environmental education. We suggest that instead of dedicating money to education, we should care for the communities already being harmed. Furthermore, direct money decisions like this will be better decided by a community advisory board. All this said, I would prefer for XAI not to be in my community at all. And even while writing this, I grapple with the idea of negotiating blood money. Not only is this my community, as both of my parents live within a 5-mile range of the 2-lane facility, but I understand that as we pass ordinance like this, we must normalize and we normalize and early accept these polluters in our neighborhood. So I compel you to act these amendments and to protect the people who are most directly impacted by these harmful polluters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bernard. Jurgen. Thank you. Sorry.
It's all right. C. Jurgen, 1058 Madison Avenue. Good evening, Council. I am here for the same exact reason as I was 2 weeks ago, and the same exact reason my friend Jasmine was just up here, to demand a more comprehensive ordinance for reinvesting in our most disadvantaged neighborhoods. I disagree with the premise that they should accept poisoned air for a slush fund of blood money, but if this council feels strongly that such a fund is necessary, it's better than nothing. But nothing is exactly what you're giving our neighbors in Whitehaven. They're going to be affected by an even larger XAI facility, Colossus 2, on 2-lane and State Line Road, which is defined as artificial intelligence infrastructure under the language of the ordinance as written. But the ordinance only applies to artificial intelligence real property, which are parcels outlined in Exhibit A. Those parcels do not include the facility on 2-lane and State Line, despite it being a larger supercomputer data center. It would be a simple common sense inclusion to make this amendment, justified by your own definitions, and yet it is still absent despite constant community pleas to include Whitehaven in this ordinance. There's other issues with the CBO. Some of them have been addressed by Councilwoman Sutton's excellent proposals for amendments, such as increasing the percentage to 75% and establishing a public oversight board. But I think there are more amendments required to make this ordinance as strong as it needs to be to respond to community demands that we've seen grow over the past half a year. The language needs to be stronger. It needs to compel this money to be used, not just allow it to be used. And we need to remove the $100 million cap, which will be difficult to fill on 25%, but can be filled anyways. But if nothing else, Council, we demand that Whitehaven be included, and we demand that our neighbors not be ignored. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to address, you might not have seen the updated, but the 2-lane has been added as an exhibit, and hopefully you can go online and see it because it's public information. And so it has been added on there. And I think it says exhibit what? Exhibit A. So thank you as a young person. Thank you, you and the other young lady. Thank you because you all are our future. And so thank you for your input, your engagement, and all of your concerns that you are voicing. They have not being unheard. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Sarah Houston. And then Kimberly Owens Pearson. And that will conclude our public comment.
Good evening, Sarah Houston, 1910 Madison Avenue, 38104. I serve as the Executive Director of Protect Our Aquifer, and I'm here to speak on this ordinance in support of it, but I am disappointed that Councilwoman Cooper Sutton's amendment did fail. You know, this could have been proposed as a TIF district, which means 100% of the taxes would be allocated for this neighborhood. We knew that wasn't necessarily gonna happen, And so moving from 25 to 75% we thought was something that really Boxtown does deserve. So it is disappointing that that did fail. But you know, this proposed water recycling facility shows real promise to preserve the Memphis Sand Aquifer and is a big benefit to Boxtown's drinking water infrastructure. But the number one benefit that the chamber and everyone has been promoting is that tax revenue is coming. And local governments really have the responsibility to ensure that tax revenue is used equitably and sustainably. And so this community benefits ordinance is an exciting move, and it's new. Like Commissioner Easter Thomas mentioned, this is a new process for our city. It's a new process for the community, and we do not want to do a disservice and exclude community from what benefits they're going to get with this funding. We have to make that very clear. This next step of a resolution sounds like is very important and needs to be outlined explicitly that members of the community, regardless of their experience, their education, the fact that they live in this community and have born and raised in this community, that is experience enough to serve on a community advisory council. I want to make that clear. So with that being said, you know, with this arbitrary cap of $100 million, maybe that's some opportunity to shift that in the future. We don't want to see a decrease in tax funds going to this area because they're getting this new allocated fund. So how are we ensuring that these funds are not, you know, being misappropriated because it's a new pot of money? So there's a lot of opportunities to enforce this and make sure this is done well with the intention of the law. So I'm happy to see it. We support it, although we wish we would have seen a higher amount. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Houston. Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you. I just want to quickly correct just a statement that was made. TIFs don't work that way. You don't get 100% of the revenue. As a matter of fact, this was mirrored identically on that. In a TIF or a pilot, you have, let's say you paid $100 last year in taxes, and now you're going to pay $500 a year in taxes. You have a $400 difference. 25% of that $400 is what you would get in the TIF. Guess what you're getting? You're getting 25% of 0 to 13 million into this TIF. So you're getting the exact same amount, but here's what's better about this deal.
Please tell me.
In a TIF, you would have to go through all sorts of oversight, regulatory agencies, the comptroller, et cetera. Here, it's straight cash that the council's basically saying, we're gonna take this cash in with 0 strings attached, and we can do anything we want with it in the community that they want us to do because it's straight cash. So long as it's legal and intentful under the state and federal constitution and the treasurer of the state of Tennessee. So this is a far better deal than a TIF could ever have been. That's how TIFs work.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask a point of clarification? Is there a concern that this type of...
All right, it wasn't meant to be a back and forth. It was a clarification. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll follow up with you. Thank you.
Kimberly Owens Pearson.
Dr. Kimberly Owens Pearson, Memphis resident.
I need your address, Ms. Pearson.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Address?
What's yours? It's 1110 Starline. Y'all know I'm from Westwood.
If you don't want to follow our rules of procedure, then I don't have to allow you to speak. We can make this real easy.
Y'all ask me every time what's my address, and none of y'all get y'all address.
That's our rules of procedure. I ask everyone. Nobody's targeting you.
Okay, 1110 Starline.
Everyone abides by the same rules. And I promise you, I've always followed that to a T.
I've been hearing somebody say it because of their such and such, they couldn't give their address and they spoke. But I'm gonna keep moving on because I'm really hot right now. So, yeah. Westwood, 1110 Starline. Ignorance is no protection from the consequence of inaction. That was by Isabel Wilkerson in the book Cast. Now, some of you tend to act for plausible deniability that you don't know. You act like even Ford, now he's gone, tipping out, but even Ford is acting like we're coming up here sounding like symbols or we want to hear ourselves. I got other things to do But we are suffering. We are smelling the smells. We are enduring the harms. We are losing our people. And y'all are keep telling us that, well, we need new stuff at the schools. Where do you live, Ford? How close do you live to it? How often do you come to Westwood until we see your Ford signs when it's time for re-election? You are all 70 years old, so you could care less because you don't have to smell it. But I just had a grandson who got to endure this. I got 8 grandchildren, and you mean to tell me that, well, because they shine a few dollars, that it's worth our lives? Now, let me tell you something. Edmund Ford Senior, District 6, and it's about 4 other people that represent our area, and you mean to tell me she couldn't get a second on what we're asking you for? What is 25% to a billionaire? What is 25%? What are y'all capping stuff for? He should be paying for people health insurance. He should be doing other things because we're suffering. And let me see. He said, smell the coffee. We can't because we smelling nitric oxide. We smelling methane gas, and we're smelling formaldehyde constantly, along with the sewage. That's what we're smelling. Talking about smell the coffee. While you sit in your ivory tower, you umpteen miles away from it.
Time's up. Nope, your time's up. Will you cut that microphone off, Jonathan, please? Jonathan. Cedric. Miss Pearson. Miss Pearson, your time is up. Thank you. All right, Madam Comptroller, we're going to go back to item 20. And if you would please prepare the voting screen for item 20 as amended. Members, please cast your votes for item 20. Substitute ordinance.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 23.
Item number 23. 11th supplemental resolution supplementing the electric system revenue obligations master resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $250 million principal amount of electric system revenue bonds, Series 2025, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom, approving the sale thereof by negotiation, authorizing the preparation and execution of a bond purchase agreement and paying agent agreement, authorizing the preparation, execution, and distribution of a preliminary official statement and a final official statement, appointing a bond registrar and paying agent, and authorizing officers of the city and the division to take all necessary steps to accomplish the issuance, sale, and delivery of the bonds. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Memphis Light, Gas, and Water.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Spinoza.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Item was moved by Spinoza, seconded by Easter Thomas. I have one comment card, Mr. Joe Kent.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. This is part of their plan, the $250 million. But I just wanted to ask you, are y'all financially overseeing MLGW? They make it really easy with the financial reports. But what's all this bunkering of cash? They've got $170 million in excess cash on their gas balance sheet. You know, it seems like we ought to be able to get some of that cash. It's just bunker. It's creating a moral hazard when you have $170 million in excess cash on the balance sheet. And next, I just want to keep this in front of you. Tree trimming, they're finished with tree trimming. They should spend about $10 million next year as opposed to $43 million last year. So that's going to be a $33 million savings in the electrical division. So I just wanted to point those things out to you, but y'all aren't overseeing them. They make it, I mean, really, I got to commend MLGW's financial transparency, and the reports are unbelievably simple to read if you have an acumen for that. They make it really easy, but they're not hitting their CapEx targets, which is a concern. I actually think that's because of the workforce that the elitists have been botching here for about every chance they get, just ripping off the taxpayer and botching the workforce development system. I wish McGowan would come up here and blame them for that. But anyway, there's no reason to have 170, and there's a lot of excess cash on the water balance sheet, but I'm watching that through a different lens. But there's no reason to have $170 million in excess cash, or even $100 million in excess cash on the gas balance sheet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. Madam Comptroller, please prepare the voting screen for item 23.
Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Colleagues, this brings us to our same night minute items. I believe the Vice Chair has those ready.
Thank you, Chair. Our same night minute items are items number 7, 8, 9, 10, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. And I so move.
All right, same night minutes were moved by Vice Chair Swearingen Washington, seconded by Carlisle. Seeing no members in the queue, please prepare the voting screen. Colleagues, please cast your votes for same night minute items.
Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, recused. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes.
Did I hear show Cooper Sutton is voting yes on this item, please?
Yes, please show her as a yes.
Madam Secretary.
All right, colleagues, that brings us to the end of the agenda and to our public comment portion. Emmeline Rogers. Name and address, you have 2 minutes.
Emmeline Rogers, 670 West Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38112. I would like to begin my statement by thanking the council for hearing our comments and thanking all of my coworkers who are unable to join us here today for their continued support by keeping the libraries running. 2 weeks ago, I and my coworkers from the Memphis Public Libraries stood before you and requested that our employment status be changed from appointed to civil service to better reflect the reality of our work. We are here again today to repeat our request with the understanding that we are looking for basic protections as well as the freedom to choose whether or not we would like to unionize, which is a right afforded to every other city worker. This is not an issue of one or the other for us. We want civil service status so that we may feel secure in our jobs that have long been designated essential rather than political, and we want the freedom of choice regarding our bargaining rights.
Since I last stood here, as a librarian, I have helped an elderly woman sign up to work for DoorDash because she can't afford rent. As a librarian, I have stepped over someone's vomit to knock on the stall door and pass them a cup of water. As a librarian, I have chatted effusively with a young boy about black holes while I checked out his stack of books. I adore my job in all of its many facets. I love how we serve people however they come to us. Our work is necessary and deserves the support of our representatives. For the sake of the well-being of our city, we are here to ask you to meet with us and add us to the agenda so that we can work together to rectify this issue with all expediency. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Samara Solomon.
Samara Solomon, 1186 Ascend Drive, apartment 104, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119. Hi, my name is Samara Solomon, and I've worked at Memphis Public Libraries for 7 years. In my years of service, I've been a library assistant, a librarian 1, and now the virtual digital coordinator for the entire library system. In my 7 years, I have assisted many a patron with finding jobs, filing for unemployment, ordering from Amazon, signing up for COVID assistance, taking temperatures, and locating stimulus checks during the pandemic because we were an essential part of the city that reopened for business earlier than most places in the city. During that unpredictable time, we still helped patrons with their usual requests with the unfortunate but needed hindrance of masks and social distancing. During those years of the pandemic, it was made clear how much the city really relies on us to be open for the public despite not being first responders. Aside from assisting patrons, I have also done many a program, including free and fun escape rooms to get the teens into the library, create a dance party for children to expel that extra summer energy while their children got a break, and helped create and lead a Comic-Con that had over 700 attendees, and assist with the Gadget Lab, where I've become acquainted with an older woman and have helped her send texts, learn how to call an Uber, and watch YouTube videos. It's great to see each month she comes in how much she's improved on her phone. Even though we do so much for the city of Memphis, we are not classified the same as other city of Memphis workers. Being appointed means having the fear that our jobs can end at any time for any reason, which then means a lot of the experiences and programs I've listed above would cease to exist. Thank you for listening to my fellow library workers and friends in the last council meeting. We urge you to change our status, and we also urge Major Young to change the executive order written in 1984 that states that we are appointed employees. We would like to be given the option to unionize, and this change to civil service will allow us to have the conversation to decide if this is something we would like to pursue. It also gives the same protections that other city sectors are privileged with.
Thank you, Ms.
I love
Solomon.
my job. Thank you so much.
Laura Bontrager.
Hi, my name is Laura Bontrager. I live at 8492 East Askersund, and I've worked at Central Library since 2018. I want to make clear why we are here today. One, we need your help to get a referendum on the ballot, which would give library workers civil service protections with their seniority and accrued benefits intact without having to reapply for their positions. And two, we need you to encourage the mayor to amend the outdated executive order, which took away our bargaining rights by carving out an exception for library workers. Because the core of the library's mission, like our branding says, is start here. It's access. Every day we ask, do the people in my community all have access to resources that will enrich their lives? With a workforce made entirely of appointed status employees, that answer is sadly no. Appointed status carries with it the burden of politics. And when politics is involved, as we have seen in our country lately, our jobs become tenuous. our service is subject to the prevailing wind of the times. I need you to know that I have felt vulnerable sitting here and standing here today. I just bought a house, I just paid my city taxes, and I work for the city in which I was born and raised. But I have no guarantees. I have no protections. With my job status as it is, I have no safety net. Libraries must be unassailable if they are to survive. Our appointed status is a major weak point which can be used against our communities to erode the democratic nature of our libraries. We need your help. I need you to protect me and my coworkers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. David Christie.
David Christie, 2447 Union Avenue, 38112. My position at the library is Librarian 1. I have been at the library for about 3 years now. I started in the History Department, moved on to the Business and Sciences Department, and now I'm in the Humanities Department. I've loved all three places. And I'm here today, I want to say too, that I'm very proud to work at the Memphis Public Library. Sorry. Okay. I'm proud to work at the Memphis Public Library. I don't like to, I hate to say this because it always sounds like I'm bragging, but I worked at the New York Public Library for 13 years, and of course I'm very proud of that, but I'm equally proud to work at the Memphis Public Library. We do amazing work every day, so I'm very glad to say that I'm there. So I'm here right now to ask the council to support reclassifying library workers to civil service, like we all are, while preserving our accrued benefits and seniority. We think this is a relatively simple, achievable task that the city can make without disrupting our benefits or years of service. We would like to be treated like most of our coworkers across the city of Memphis, city government, excuse me. There's no reason we can think of for library workers to be some of the only public servants excluded from civil service protections. Reclassification would ensure stability, fairness, and consistency. And I know I'm reading from a script, but I want you to know that the next two sentences are especially heartfelt and stated with strong personal conviction. Reclassification would help retain great library staff, reduce burnout, and improve morale. And most importantly, it would show that the city respects the people who are on the front lines doing this work every day.
Thank you, Mr. Christie. Marvis Rogers.
My name is Marvis M. Rogers. My address is 3059 Victoria Park Cove, Memphis, Tennessee 38127. Good evening, council members. I'm here to share my personal experience with the Tennessee Governmental Tort Liability Act and how it unfairly denies citizens like myself the right to recover damages caused by city negligence. Several months ago, my car was severely damaged by a pothole. I filed a claim with the city of Memphis, and it was denied because of this law. I was told I must prove that the city has a prior notice of this pothole before my accident. To meet this requirement, I submitted the name, phone number, and address of a local business owner who had previously reported this pothole. Weeks have went by now and no response. When I followed up by phone, the clerk told me that there was no record of my proof. This left me powerless because unless the city acknowledges its own 311 records or accepts witness testimony, residents have no way to meet this impossible burden. I want this council to know that this law is being applied in practice effectively to shield the city from accountability. I sustained damage to my car, rendering it inoperable. I'm paying a car note on a car that was damaged by the city. It was reported several times, and I'm receiving no response from the city, while still paying this car note, and I've paid over $2,000 and some in rental car fees. I'm here because your process has failed me. I'm here because so many citizens' claims have been denied. I'm only left to believe that this law is being used to circumvent and to not pay or not pay for the damages that citizens so rightly deserve. I'm here because in a poverty-stricken city where many are living check to check and sometimes having to rob Peter to pay Paul to survive, this law to protect the city from any liabilities, it's ludicrous. Memphis is known for its high crime rate, but this law is a crime. It's a crime against the city's citizens of Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. If you'll send me an email, Ms. Rogers, I'll make sure I forward it to City Legal. Thank you. Sybil Presley.
I am Sybil Presley, 1056 Linden Avenue, 38104. And of course, I'm Sybil Presley, the pothole lady, speaking of potholes. And I emailed TDOT in Nashville to fill the potholes on Elvis Presley Boulevard, repair the road. But I'm going for 1 mile on both sides of Graceland, and I've got a special project with blue asphalt. But anyway, I'm going to read you a paragraph from the email that I got back. None of my questions was answered. So TDOT said, you bring up some great questions. The area in front of Graceland is under construction by the city of Memphis. And during active construction projects, it is the city's responsibility to maintain it. So I understood that Elvis Presley Boulevard is a state road. So this is kind of confusing to me. And then I looked on the internet and I found out that the city of Memphis works with TDOT. So if somebody can set me straight on this detail, that would be wonderful. And I appreciate all of the council members, and I'm happy to be here. And I love the city council, and I appreciate anything that y'all can do. I need to contact a road engineer so I can further my research on the Elvis Presley Boulevard project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Presley. We appreciate you. Celeste Grimaldi.
My name is Celeste Grimaldi, 8342 Trondheim Drive, Cordova, 38018, Council District 2. Council members, to begin, I'd like to share a quote from Representative John Lewis, now democracy's angel and great leader of the civil rights movement. He reminds us, get in and stay in the streets of every city, every village and hamlet of this nation until true freedom comes, until the revolution of 1776 is complete. Because next July 4th, 2026 will be the 250th anniversary of our country's independence, I am here to share some history and ask for your leadership and involvement in a special project. During the period leading up to the writing of the Declaration of Independence, when colonists believed that their British liberties were under attack, they met in local groups to explain in their own words their disapproval of King George's abuses of the colonists and colonies. Towns across the colonies introduced, debated, and passed actions called resolutions of disapproval. The local participation in writing their condemnations helped build support for the revolution. It also created local ownership of their arguments for independence. Their condemnations were written into the Declaration of Independence as a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, which begat the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. With our history in mind, in 2025, there are at least 61 legislative bodies that have published or are presently working to create their version of their local resolutions of condemnation by going on record very clearly about why and what the president is doing that is a dangerous betrayal to American citizens, American democracy, and the effect it is having on their communities.
Thank you, Ms. Grimaldi.
May I finish, sir? It's just one more paragraph.
All right, wrap it up quickly.
Thank you. I am asking you as patriotic Americans, without any concern of your party affiliation, to fight and stand against this president's misuse of power that is hurting Memphis and Memphians. Is there anyone on the council today who will sponsor this action and work to create a City of Memphis resolution of condemnation?
Thank you, Ms. Grimaldi.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Brooks.
Yes, my name is Paul Brooks. I'm at 6301 Village Road, Studio 147. I'm just here on behalf of just a general concern. When I drive through the city and I look at certain areas are being developed, but you go on the black side of the city, there is no development. All you see is destruction, torn down schools. There's no money being put back in those communities. But you on the east side, it's money, money, money. But where the money coming from? Why isn't there any money being put back in those communities? I was in a community back in '95, and they wanted to put 22 trailer homes in my community. But with the help of God, we stopped it. They were going to destroy my community. It was a very nice, it's called the Homedale subdivision. But had not we stood up, and that one trailer home that got grandfathered in, it looked a mess. But they built about 15 or 20 more conventional homes. But had not we stood up, they were going to destroy that community. And even like today, this gentrification, eminent domain. So many people have no hope, but they place confidence in you all. And here we are today, 2025, with the same fight, with people hoping that you would listen, hoping that you would represent them. And I just want to say that it's a disgrace. I'm a former Marine. I was in the Marine Corps, and I was aboard a U.S. naval vessel. And the captain of our ship told the Australians, they said that, beware the black men aboard this ship. They're unruly and they have no manners. And that was in 1980. And here we are today. We still have this hatred, but yet and still we talk about God bless America. We're united. We're not united. And I'm just concerned about my grandchildren. How will it be for my grandchildren? Because right now with all of this that's going on, they're stripping our community, they're stripping our people. They want to erase our history like we never did anything. So I'm concerned. Y'all may not look all nonchalant, but I'm concerned about my grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Mr. Paul. I'm used to seeing you in a different setting. Yes, sir. But it's always good to see you. Janice Mondi.
First, let me say, okay, my name is Janice Mundy, 2509 Dexter Avenue. I want to thank all that stayed, so I will try to be respectful. My council person never stays when I make a comment, so the feelings we have are mutual. This is a joke.
Ms. Mondi. I'm going to ask that you not direct any comments to any council members, that you direct your comments straight at me. We don't disparage any council members sitting up here. If you come to speak about a certain issue, go ahead, but we're not here to disparage. I made that very clear from the beginning of the meeting. I won't allow it.
Okay, can you reset my time? I'm reclaiming my time. Can you start my time over to 2 minutes, please? Okay, I was talking and you interrupted. You talked longer than I talk. I want my full 2 minutes, please. I want my full 2 minutes.
Ms. Mundy, I interrupted you because you were breaking our rules of procedure. I have every right to interrupt you and to cut your microphone off and not allow
I
you
didn't
to
say
speak.
anything negative. I made the acknowledgement that my city council person was not here to hear my comments. I started off by thanking all of you for staying and saying that I would be respectful, but I wanted to acknowledge that my city council person wasn't here. How is that disrespectful? That's a fact. How is that disrespectful? That's a fact.
Well, right now you're wasting your time speaking. Would you like to proceed?
I would like for you to reset my time so I can address the things that I come here to address about this audit on matter. I want my time. I would like for a respectful city council person to stand up for me and give me my time.
1:45.
Reset it to 1:45. This is a joke. We brought this thing to your attention about how poorly Matter Service was. You gave a $20 million bridge loan, and Matter has a $60 million debt. When it's reported, it makes it seem like it's all in one. Really, it's like $80 million missing from Matter. Instead, you come here and you pay $600,000 for this. And they talk about on page 10 about one Apple smartwatch that costs $349. Matter has an $80 million deficit, and this is what you paid $600,000 for. I want to know about the $500,000 they paid for a used trolley that they brought here from California, but when they got here, they realized that the trolley was too large to fit on the track. I want to know about the 20 or 30 buses that was salvage buses from California that was brought here and could not be put in service because Tennessee don't issue tags and plates for salvage buses. When you do a forensic audit, you're looking for criminal activity. This says nothing about criminal activity. I had a meeting with Banks and White, who does Matters audits, has done Matter audits for years, back in June 1, 2022. If this audit is saying that Matter is not keeping track of government grants and how they spend government grants, that's a bank's CPA responsibility. Somebody should be in jail, be it the auditor, the former mayor, the current mayor, former city council, current city councils, because there's no excuse for the condition that Matter is in.
Thank you, Ms. Mundy.
You're not welcome.
Alexis Agnew.
Hello. Oh, thanks, everybody. I'm Alexis Agnew, 4321 Elaine Avenue, 38122. Hello, everyone. How you guys? It's real quick. I don't have as much to say as I did last time. Simply, I support the library. I support changing their status from appointed to civil service. Support that. I have a suggestion for you guys' emails. So I've emailed some of you, and I didn't get a reply. So what I think might be helpful is like an auto reply feature where it automatically says, "Hey, we got your email. Thanks so much. We'll get back to you." That way, I just don't feel like I'm, ghosted. Thank you, guys. No, but for real though, the real thing I wanted to mention was a couple. Technically, it's in relation to agenda number 5 about that apartment to a hotel. It's what I wanted to talk about last time. I don't know where this would go. If this would be better in like a zoning committee, let me know. I think that a couple elements for new construction, this is boring, I'm sorry guys. A couple elements for new construction could be encouraged. So here's what I mean. All new construction should be encouraged to include at least one EV charger spot for every 25 parking spots. That is, 4 for every 100. Replacing single-use water fountains with bottle filling stations and water fountains. Encouraging green spaces and trees in the parking spots to break up the hot asphalt. And this is a small suggestion, but it's like maybe having the idea that 10% of all of the buildings that you approve or be LEED certified gold. And other than that, it's standard stuff like, not allocating any money for any of these various suggestions. And they are suggestions. If there's requirements, you'd have to probably fund it. And this way, if they're simply just incentivizing it, then, no harm, no foul. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Agnew. Joe Kent.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. I was encouraged on the Accelerate Memphis readout when it was requested, yet we still do not have one. Here's what a readout should look like. You should have the project number, contract number, project name, contractor, project cost, dispersed amount, and remaining amount, all totaling about $200 million. We didn't get that. That's a joke. We don't have a report on $200 million. Why is this type of transparency so controversial? Next, MLK deferred maintenance. That work should have been done a long time ago. And the park has nice bones and it's used often, but what we don't need is MLK Park, a major renovation as part of more downtown riverfront spend. An expansive riverfront spend. While last year we spent far more than average of average cities, and our park ranking didn't move. It was in the bottom 25 percentile. And we'll stay that way. It was low because we didn't distribute the money throughout the city and provide access throughout the entire city. So don't spend a bunch of money on this more riverfront. So that's just an observation on MLK, but they deserve to be maintained. It's a nice park and have their stuff done, and it should have been done a long time ago. Okay, back to the lady. There's missing trolleys. This guy, the guy at MATA, the second guy in control, Eric Stevenson, he's not transparent. I've got public information requests in right now, and he came from the chamber for where the hell the trolleys are. All the trolley cars who bought. Where are they? Anyway, I'm done. Thank you.